This is an initial permanency hearing involving the Stiles child. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. Mr. Hill is with us representing the mother, Ms. Stiles, who is with us. Ms. Arch is with us representing the father. Mr. Scott, I show he's incarcerated, at least he was in Randall County Jail. Do you know, Ms. Archer, do you know, is he still incarcerated?
He is, and we did have an order for him to appear. The jail told me to call 10 minutes before the hearing, which I did, and they are having trouble locating him because he's out shoveling snow. But I am ready to proceed on his behalf.
Okay, I'll watch the waiting room in case someone comes in. They usually identify themselves as the Randall County Jail. So I have Shay Cairns in the waiting room.
He's the caseworker on the case.
Okay.
Thanks, Natalie. I didn't realize I was still muted.
All right, Ms. Cairns is with us. Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Shay Cairns as its witness.
All right, Ms. Cairns, if you'd unmute, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. If you'd raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Shay, who do you work for?
St. Francis Ministries.
And are you the caseworker assigned to the child, Leslie Jean Richard Stiles?
I am.
And are you also in communication with his parents, Dominique and Cody?
Yes.
Did you file a court report on January 14th of 2026 for this hearing?
I did.
Your Honor, we ask that the court take judicial notice of that court report.
So noted, and I did read the report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Shay, since the filing of the court report, what are the updates on Leslie?
Leslie's doing very well. He was sick a little bit in December, but no hospitalizations required, just medication. He recovered slowly, just a respiratory illness, But he's doing great. He's placed with his biological sister. He's gaining weight as needed. He's on target.
Okay, that is great. And what are the updates on Mr. Scott since the filing of the court report?
He did give me some certificates that he could complete at Randall County.
Okay, and what were those certificates on?
For a parenting class, and then I think there were several parenting classes that he could take.
Okay. And then as far as Ms. Stiles, what are the updates on Ms. Stiles?
She goes to her weekly visits with Leslie, and she has drug screened for me, but I don't know where she resides or anything right now.
Okay, and have you checked in with Ms. Stiles asking where she lives?
We spoke briefly. I haven't got to see her because I was due to see her on Friday, but the snow kind of.
All right. In the past, have you inquired where she lives?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and has she shared that with you?
No.
Okay. And I understand she was in some type of wellness clinic in the past few months. Is that right?
Yes.
And has she shared the name of the clinic or what it was for or anything?
Not exactly what it was for. She told me it was in Arkansas, I believe.
Okay. And had she in the past told you it was in Round Rock?
Yes.
Okay, so she's not even being strict. Apologies. She's not giving you an exact location of what the clinic is or what it's for. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. As far as visitation, Ms. Stiles still has visitation. How is that going?
It's going well.
Okay. How often is she seeing the child?
Weekly.
Is she being consistent with those visits?
She is.
And as far as Mr. Scott, he continues to be incarcerated. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are you providing updates to him on how Leslie is doing?
I am.
And I understand that he has asked for a home study on one of his relatives. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And which relative did he ask for that home study on?
It will be his daughter and his mother. They live together.
Okay.
It's primarily his daughter.
And what are your concerns with the home?
I have not got to see the home as of right now. I do know there are some concerns about the criminal and
And you cut out for
CPS
me.
history. Oh, I apologize.
That's okay. So what are your concerns regarding the criminal history and CPS history then?
On the grandmother, there are some charges that are concerning, like assault, for the grandmother. I know it's in the past, but it's, you know, there's a couple of them. And then the CPS history as well.
Were there any charges related to children for abuse or abandonment or endangerment against the grandmother?
There was abandonment and a physical abuse charge for the CPS.
So is the department against asking the court to order that home study?
Due to those concerns, yes.
Okay. As far as the parents, are there any services we need to ask the court to order on Mr. Scott?
Not at this time.
All right. And have any recommendations come from any of his service providers for the services he's already completed?
Not right now, no.
As far as drug screens, are we asking for any drug screens today?
Yes, please. If we could have Dominique go and get one today.
Or what type?
Well, tomorrow probably because everybody's closed down today. Tomorrow by noon, I guess. I don't.
Okay, we can ask the judge to
Okay.
get that by noon, but
Mhm.
what type?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said what time. I'm like, I don't know. A hair and a UA.
And can you describe in detail the department's reasonable efforts to reunify the family?
I've tried, working with mom and dad with the family plan. Well, mom doesn't have one court ordered, but we've done drug screens and everything to try and mitigate the reasons for removal.
Okay. And as far as Mr. Scott, are you visiting him or communicating with him while he's in jail?
He's a little harder to see since he does do some work. So it's harder to set up a meeting with him, but I am sending him letters. I do know that he's supposed to be moved as well.
And what knowledge do you have of him being moved soon?
Cody had just said that he will be moved to a different unit coming up. And then he spoke about parole possibly in March or April.
Okay. So as far as the father, have you inquired with him about other family for a home study?
Yes, and these are the two that he would like.
And when you're saying his daughter, how old is his daughter?
She's 18.
Okay, so does the department typically do home studies on an 18-year-old?
We hadn't before, but they just lowered the age.
Okay. So however, her living with grandmother would be a serious concern. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Hypothetically, in the future, if she lived on her own, would the department reconsider that?
Yes.
All right. And are you helping Mr. Scott complete his services?
As best I can. While he's still in Randall County, it's kind of hard.
All right. Do we have any other requests for the court?
No, I don't believe so.
All right, pass the witness.
Well, thank you. Shay, would it be a continuing danger to the child to be returned to either parent today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would it be contrary to the welfare of Leslie to be returned to either parent today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Now, I don't know. I know we've had the paternity testing done. Does anyone know, have I adjudicated Mr. Scott yet?
Yes, you have, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, then, Mr. Hill, questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Carnes, there's no court-ordered service plan. I think Ms. Stiles would like to work services. Would St. Francis be willing to provide her a service plan that's not court-ordered that she could voluntarily work?
Yes, if she wants to voluntarily, I can get her a plan together.
Okay, would you do that, please? I know she'd very much like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
All right. Ms. Cairns, you said that Ms. Stiles has been cooperating with drug testing. Have those drug testing results given you any concerns?
The oral swab did.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Ms. Archer, questions?
Yes, Judge. Is the child currently in a group home or in a foster home?
In a foster home.
And you said they just lowered the age to do a home study on a relative?
Yes, they did.
Okay. And how old is the criminal history of the grandmother?
It's over 10 years, but whenever it comes to like assault and abuse, they look at it differently.
So is it still within the department's capability to do the home study, even though she's living with a grandmother?
That would go, like the approval to do the send off for the homestay has to go higher up than my supervisor. I can send it there, but I'm not sure, you know.
And is it preferable to have a child in a home rather than a group home?
Your Honor, objection, the child is not in a group home. She's in a foster home placed with a sibling that's been adopted.
Okay.
And I apologize if the court report wasn't clear about that, Natalie.
Okay,
I apologize.
thank you. That was unclear to me.
Okay, sorry.
So this child has a sibling on the dad's side and the mother's side. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Um, and did you say you have spoken to this grandmother and daughter about whether they would be interested in having the child?
I've spoken mainly to the daughter.
And was she interested?
Yes.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
All right. Where does this daughter live, Shay?
She's here in Amarillo.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Wiggins?
No questions, Judge.
All right. All right, anything further from the department?
Nothing further from the department, Your Honor. We rest.
Okay. Mr. Hill, did you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Archer?
Judge, since my client isn't here, he did want me to ask for a home study to be done on his daughter.
Okay. I never got a name.
Oh, it is the grandmother and the daughter are Avery and I'm trying to read my writing. Avery Scott and Adela Scott. Avery Scott is the daughter, and Adela Scott is the grandmother,
All right.
and it would be their home.
All right. Okay.
Judge, if I can interrupt, Judge, I'm very sorry. May I ask one question?
Yeah, sure.
Ms. Cairns, I believe that Ms. Stiles had asked previously that her sister be looked at for placement. Has that ever been done? Has Dominique provided the name and have you looked at the sister for placement?
Yes, but I received no response from her.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, then, Ms. Wiggins, did you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
And I don't know if I asked Ms. Archer, did you have any witnesses?
No, Judge, I was going to call my client about that since he's not present,
Okay.
I've just made the court aware.
Okay. All right.
And Your Honor, we are asking for the findings that we're making reasonable efforts to reunify the family.
All right, I will make those findings. And I guess I was writing when you answered this, Shay, who has lowered the age to do a home study? Is that a department? Is that a new department policy or what?
Yes, Your Honor.
What have they lowered it to?
To 18.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, then, if there's nothing further, Ms. Wiggins, recommendations?
Thank you, Judge. I do recommend that the department remain temporary managing conservator and the child's placement be continued.
All right, thank you. Okay, then I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator. I'll continue Leslie's current placement. I'll order Ms. Stiles to hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. tomorrow at Care Express in Amarillo. And I will go ahead and, since it's been requested, I will order the home study on Avery Scott and Adela Scott. It'd be I'd be hard pressed to place a child with an 18-year-old, but we'll wait and see what it comes back as far as the grandmother. So, okay.
And Your Honor, I apologize.
Yes.
One more question. Shay, are we sending Dominique to Care Express or are we sending her to a different testing facility?
Any lab tests now?
Okay, Your Honor, if I could put any lab test now in that order instead of Care Express.
What? Okay, that's fine with me. What is any lab test now? Is it
It's just a
local?
different, yes, it is.
It's in Amarillo.
Yes, sir.
Do you not contract with Care Express anymore, or I'm just
We
wanting to
do.
know.
We
Okay.
do. I've had some issues with them recently.
Okay. All right. Then I'll order that she drug test by 4 p.m. tomorrow at any lab now. So, okay. I'll set our next review hearing for May 18th, 2026. That will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing, so parties can ask their lawyers or anybody can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of May 18th to see what time of day we'll have the hearing. That way you won't be sitting around in the waiting room. Ms. Archer, if you know, I heard testimony that Mr. Scott might be moved to a different unit. Is he serving a TDCJ sentence, or is he's in Randall County Jail, but is he serving a state sentence?
Yes, he is, but he still expects to parole out in March or April.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That will conclude this hearing. For those of you involved, I'll be back at 9:30 to call another Randall County case.
Elaine, who do you work for?
I work for the Department of Family and Protective Services.
And are you assigned to the case with parent Kia Johnson?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And did you file a court report on January 22nd of 2026?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Your Honor, I realize the county's been closed. Have you had an opportunity to read that court report, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Okay, thank you. We asked for judicial notice of that court report.
All right. So noted.
Thank you. Elaine, can you tell us how the children, each child is doing since the filing of the court report?
Yes, ma'am. So Amaya, Malaysia, and Ja'Cory have remained in the care of their father, Andrew Miles, out in the DFW area. They have continued to do well in his care. They're all three attending school out there, and they've continued in some extracurricular activities that they've been doing prior, such as ballet and some cheer. Ja'Cory's in the band out there. They've continued in counseling with Ramona Evans through Metro Care, and with her, they're working on just being more comfortable and opening up with Kia before they go into any type of family therapy. It's just a work in progress. They haven't made it to that point yet. When I spoke with the therapist this last week, she reports they're still have maintained that they do not want to return to her care. They're fearful of her and the repercussions that could come with them returning back into her residence. And so I do believe that that's something that's going to need to be worked out in therapy sessions once it's started.
Okay. And can you remind us, what is the hold on the family therapy?
So there was a referral that was made out there to an agency, and then because of the holidays, we hadn't heard anything back. I did speak with them last week, and they reported to us that they do not do therapy, family therapy, when there is a court order involved. And so I'm going to make a referral to the Jennings counseling out here in Amarillo to see if they can get with Kia's therapist and the kids' therapist and try to get something going there. But neither Kia's nor the kids' therapist can do the family therapy session. So they're requesting us do it with somebody else.
Okay, thank you for working on that.
Yes. As for the other children, Aaliyah, Odyssey, and Zanaya, they are currently in Kia's care. All three of them are attending school here in the Amarillo area. They were discharged from therapy with Rachel Buckaloo, which is who Odyssey and Zanaya were seeing due to missed appointments. And I will say some of those appointments were due to Kia missing, no calling and no showing, and some of them were due to Odyssey's when she was in placement with her grandmother. There was a couple of reschedules. And so at that point, the therapist felt like they needed to be discharged from her. And so they are currently with family support services. Each of them has had one session, and Aaliyah was also included in therapy with family support services as well.
Okay. And when was that one session that you're referring to, Elaine?
So Aaliyah had her first session on the 21st of January. Odyssey had her first session on the 15th of January, and Zanaya had her first session on the 16th. And they are all with different therapists. The only one that I've received a report from is Zanaya's therapist. And he reported to me that he feels like that she is open and honest with him, and it's just a matter of them building rapport and moving forward. So her next session is scheduled for the 30th, Zanaya. As for the other two girls, when I reached out to see if there was an update on an upcoming session, I was told that there hasn't been anything scheduled for either one of them yet.
Okay.
For Aaliyah and Odyssey. So I'll follow up and see again if anything is scheduled.
Thank you, Elaine. Is it fair to say that all three of these children have been through some trauma?
Yes, ma'am.
And at the very least, witnessed domestic violence in the household?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you believe that therapy, unless their therapist discharges them or says it's not needed, that it's in the best interest of the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And does that cover all the children for the updates?
Yes, it does.
All right. And let's see, what was the date again that Aaliyah returned home?
Oh, Odyssey.
Oh, who was the most recent one?
Odyssey returned home on December the 1st.
Okay. And Zanaya and Aaliyah were there before then as well. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. And what are the updates regarding Ms. Kia Johnson?
In the way of positives, for Kia, she has been attending counseling with Carrie McConnell at Family Support Services. When I spoke with Carrie, she did indicate that Kia was receptive during her sessions and voiced interest in continuing counseling after the case was closed. She also completed her anger management course and the workbook with Carrie. Carrie did say that she felt like Kia did well and that they worked on assertiveness, warning signs, healthy and unhealthy expressions of anger, irrational thinking, problem solving, and stress management. And she did send me a certificate of completion for that, showing that Kia completed it. There were concerns. Well, let me just go ahead and say continue with the services. She did complete the advanced parenting, as we had stated before. She had done the OSAR assessment with no referrals for treatment on that after the OSAR. She's completed RBT. She attended some domestic violence support group sessions through Family Support Services.
And Elaine, if I may interrupt you here, when was the last time she attended Family Support Services for the domestic violence classes?
I don't have a good date on that. I know she had continued. Usually the department requests that they attend 6 sessions, but she had went and done more than that just as a support. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a date on the last time.
Are you aware of approximately what month she last went?
The last time I spoke with her about it, it was in November. And so she hasn't mentioned attending anything past November at this point.
Okay. And now, Elaine, I understand you found a police report regarding Miss Johnson. Is that correct?
That's correct. I requested police reports, and I did have one, and I did receive those this morning.
Okay. Your Honor, and if I may make the court aware, I received this court report today since the county has been closed, but I did send it to all parties, Your Honor, as well as Elaine did. We offer this as petitioner's exhibit number 1.
Did you send it to me?
Yes, Your Honor, I included you in that email as well.
let me
You said
find it.
court report, but do you mean police
Oh,
report?
I apologize. Yes, police report. Thank you, Courtney.
I'm looking for it. You know about what time you sent it?
Maybe about 8:40
Okay.
a.m.
I've got some with you that was on Sanders Sersey, and I've got some that look like they're on Johnson.
I can re-forward it, Your Honor, so it's at the top of your list if you like.
It's Johnson, Kia Johnson.
It's Johnson. Okay.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. I didn't realize
I'm
you were
I'm
asking.
sorry. That's right. I'm used to looking for the kids' names. Okay, sorry. Have you offered it?
Yes, Your Honor, I offer that as Petitioner's Exhibit 1.
All right. Any objections? All right, then petitioner's one's admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Elaine, now that that incident report is in evidence, can you tell me what your concerns about that incident report are?
Yes. In looking at the report, the incident occurred when law enforcement made contact with Kia. It was a couple of blocks up from where she resides. And she was and it sounds like she was in a pretty severe domestic violence incident with another male. She refused to give her name initially, and throughout this report, she refused to give the name of the male who she was in a domestic violence incident with. I was aware that she didn't have her vehicle last month. When I had went over there, she had told me that it was in the shop, but that was it. She wasn't open and honest about what had actually occurred with her vehicle, and it sounds like it had been taken from her during this incident by this other person. So our concern is that these kids continue to be exposed to domestic violence, even with her attending all of these services and us getting these reports back from her therapist that she's doing well. There's still no behavioral changes on her end.
Okay. Would you agree that the court report describes her as having obvious injuries?
Yes.
Okay. And would you also agree that the court report indicates the incident occurred on December 7th of 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
And so that would be after all three girls, Odyssey, Aaliyah, and Zanaya, were back in the home. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Let me see. And does the court report also indicate that Ms. Johnson allowed the police officer to take her to Northwest Texas Hospital for her injuries?
Initially, and then she changed her mind and refused to go inside. And so at that point, they transported her to a friend's residence.
Okay. The beginning of this case started because of domestic violence. Is that fair to say, Elaine?
Yes, ma'am.
And during your work with the family, additional concerns have arisen about physical abuse of the children by Kia. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And as of December 7th of 2025, it looks like we are back at a domestic violence incident near her home. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that the children are at a continued risk of abuse or neglect?
Yes.
Are we asking the court to go ahead and extend the dismissal date on this case?
Yes.
Now, are we asking for any additional services to be ordered for Ms. Johnson specifically?
Not at this time. I think we need to move forward with the family therapy. She's done their anger management. There's not anything else I can think of right now.
Do you think since there's been a new domestic violence incident that she should partake in domestic violence classes?
I would say so. I mean, because I've already spoken with them about WAVE, and without her having any type of like criminal charge, they're not willing to accept her there or recommend her for that at Family Support Services. So if they're not going to recommend WAVE, then I think maybe the DV support would be appropriate.
Okay. In regards to Odyssey, Zanaya, and Aaliyah, are we asking the court to make any orders regarding services for them?
No, they're in counseling, and I think they just need to continue in that.
Okay. And family therapy for Kia and Amaya Jacori in Malaysia has already been ordered. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the court?
No, not at this time.
Okay, I pass the witness.
Okay. Give me just a second here. Elaine, have any of the three, Elia, Odyssey, or Zanaya, have they opened up to their counselors about this domestic violence incident, or were the kids not around when it happened?
So they haven't indicated anything to me. They haven't said anything to their therapists. They've only had one session each with their new therapist. I know with Zanaya and speaking with the therapist she was seeing, she had a lot of concerns with just her having superficial conversations and not really opening up about what was going on in the home and what had occurred or any type of traumas that she's experienced. So I know with the previous therapist, there was concerns with her not opening up, but with her only having one session, I think it's going to be a matter of time and seeing how that interaction goes over time.
So, I mean, and it's been almost, well, it's been almost 2 months since this incident happened, and I'm concerned. Well, number one, my question is, were the kids involved? Because that puts a whole new spin on this case. So, but we don't know
Right.
that because mom won't talk about it. Is that fair?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea that this incident had occurred up until I got this police report.
And you just got it, right? Like today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How'd you find out about the police report?
I requested it because of there being previous domestic violence incidents. You just request any type of new reports that may or may have not occurred throughout the case. And I just got it on a whim. It wasn't that I had heard about it or anything. It was just part of my casework and
Okay.
requesting.
Well, good job. Glad that we found out about it. So, all right,
Yeah.
then, Ms. Graff, questions?
So I just want to make sure the court is aware. This report came to my computer at about 9 o'clock this morning, and I saw it at about 9:30. I tried to communicate with my client, but wasn't able to do that. Mr. Noack and I had a brief conversation because we both, I think, were surprised to receive this. So it's no fault of the social worker that she provided it to us at this late a date, because she got it this morning as well. But it is very disturbing to me to come into a hearing and have something like this, which is in my mind a significant report, provided to us shortly before the hearing, so that I don't have an opportunity to have a full, a conversation with my client and try to find out, from her side what's going on.
Well,
and
listen,
I don't know.
Miss Graff, I understand that, but you're right. And I'm not blaming Elaine at all. I'm glad she found it, but
No, I'm not blaming her either, Your Honor.
Excuse me. We can sit here and whine about it, but your client's had 2 months to tell you about it. So I'm not happy with your client, is what I'm trying to get across. So
Sure.
okay.
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead with your question.
Well, I probably am. I'm not either, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I guess I would like to ask Ms. Lucero, just as a point of information, because my notes don't reflect this. Did we dismiss Desmond Jr. in this case when he stayed with his father? Okay, great. All right. That's because I was looking at the report and I didn't see anything about him. But he is listed in the family composition on the page 1. So there was no note saying, anything about him as the report continued.
He's dismissed.
Okay. All right, great. Well, that's really all I have this morning. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Noack?
Just briefly, Elaine, always thanks for talking to me on the phone. And this is just probably a stupid question that I have, but do you, as the caseworker, do you provide the parents with the Zoom links for when we have court?
Most times if they ask for them, a lot of times it's their attorneys that send them over to them.
And I think my next question is for the judge. Judge, are any of the parents here? Are the two parents here today?
No, I just for everybody to know, I'm going to set another hearing pretty quickly so that we can get Miss Johnson present and talk about this incident. So, but no, nobody's in my waiting room.
I think that would be useful, Judge. Thank you so much. Elaine, Judge, I'll pass the witness. Elaine, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Miss Wiggins.
I have no questions, Judge.
Okay. All right. Miss Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Nothing further from the department, Your Honor. Again, we are asking for this case to be extended. We believe that the children are at a continued risk for abuse and neglect.
All right. All right, then, Ms. Graff, I assume you didn't have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. I would have been happy if my client were present. She did get the link. I routinely send the link out to all my clients before the hearing, but you know, with the weather and everything else, who knows what? I mean, I have no way to speculate about what might be going on.
Yeah, sure, I understand. Okay, Mr. Nowak, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Judge, just recommendations.
All right, Ms. Wiggins?
No witnesses, Judge. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Nowak, any recommendations then?
I would ask the court to extend the order to participate, continue services, and get a hearing as quick as we can on Miss Johnson. I don't have a whole lot of concern with the children that are placed with Mr. Miles. Given what we learned recently, I do have concerns about the kids with Miss Johnson. Thank you so much, Judge.
Ms. Wiggins, I asked you didn't have any witnesses. Ms. Wiggins, is there anything else on behalf of the children you need to tell me today?
No, Judge. The children didn't report anything to me. So.
Okay. All right.
Of issue.
Okay. Brittany, let's be looking for a date next couple of weeks or so.
Would February 9th be too soon?
Not for me. So
I'm currently set for a jury trial with Judge Estevez on the 9th, but I'm doing my best to make that one go away. So let's go ahead and set it for January 9th, February 9th, sorry, and see what we can get done.
All right. And Miss Graff, I know you only have control over your client as much as your client will let you have control, but you need to impress upon her she needs to be at this hearing on February 9th, because this could turn into a removal instead of just a participation case. So, okay. All right, then. First of all, I will grant the department's motion to extend the case. I will order that Ms. Johnson continue working the services as previously ordered, as well as that she, I guess we would call it, retake the domestic violence support group. I don't know what else, since she doesn't qualify for WAVE, I don't know what else we can do to deal with her tendency to be with partners that commit domestic violence. So. And as I said, then I'll set another compliance hearing for February 9th. I will order that Ms. Johnson appear for that hearing.
Hey, Vince. I'm sorry. Can I ask Vince a question, Your Honor?
Sure.
Okay. Would it help if I put this case first on 2-9, if we put this one first?
That would probably work. That'd be just fine.
Brittany, would we be able to do this one first on 2-9?
Yes, that's fine. I think we only have like one anyways at this moment.
Do we want to, Vince, would it help us if we did it at 8:30 or even 8 o'clock?
The earlier the better. The earlier the better. But I've had great success with all our district courts. If I'm in your court, they cut me some slack. 8:30 would be just fine for me on that day.
Let's just do it at 8 so we can get you in and out. That's. You're with Judge Estevez?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, she's my presiding judge, so yeah, let's not make her mad.
I do my best not to make any judges mad.
Okay, then let's go ahead and set another compliance for 8 o'clock on February 9th, 2026. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
That will conclude this hearing in the interest of Dallas Campbell, the child. In that case, Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins for the child. Ms. Lucero is with us representing the mother, Susan Campbell, who I show is incarcerated. And Ms. Kincaid is with us representing the father, Mr. Campbell, who's with us. I'll also call related case number 85577. a permanency hearing involving Clyde Wallace and Bonnie Wright, the children, Ms. Gutierrez for the department, Ms. Wiggins for the children. Mr. Michelson is with us representing the father, Mr. Brandon Wright, who I show is incarcerated, and Ms. Lucero is with us representing the mother, Susan Campbell, again, who I show is incarcerated. All right, that's all the parties that are present. This case was set for 12:30. It's now 12:50. We'll proceed in the other party's absence. I don't have anyone in the waiting room, so Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department asks for judicial notice of the court reports filed in each case.
All right, so noted, and I've read both reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. And the department calls Juan Heredia as its witness.
All right. Sir, if you'd raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gutierrez?
Thank you, Your Honor. Juan, who do you work for?
I work for St. Francis Ministries.
And what do you do for them?
I'm a permanency specialist.
And are you assigned to Dallas Campbell and Bonnie Wright and Clyde Wallace, the children?
Yes, ma'am.
And the mother of all three kids is Susan Campbell, is that correct?
Yes.
The father of Brandon and Bonnie, I'm sorry, of Bonnie and Clyde is Brandon, is that correct?
Yes.
And the father of Dallas is Lewis Campbell, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Can I get an update on all three children, please?
Yes, ma'am. All three of the children are doing exceptionally well in their placement. They are thriving and excelling in school currently. The structure and setting of the home where they are at has been very beneficial to them. It's a family-like setting versus being in a center or in a home. It has been very, very good for them as far as helping the boys to reconnect with their sister, as all three children are together. And they are doing very well with the structure and the environment that they have there.
Okay, and how would you describe the relationship between the siblings?
They are very tight knit. They are, of course, bonded. They seem to do better when they are all together, as far as not just their family bond, but just because they relate to each other and talk to each other and share things and have common interests.
Okay, and I understand the court ordered a home study on Lewis Campbell, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give us, before we go into that, can you give us an update on how Mr. Campbell is doing with his services?
Mr. Campbell has completed all of his services that were required by the department. The only thing that Mr. Campbell has not provided is a care plan for the children if they were to be placed with him, as far as, if he's looked to see what schools they would be enrolled in, who would care for the children if he has to be at work, be it on the weekdays and of course on weekends if he were to have to work. He also does not have a way to transport himself. He has informed us that he relies on family to help give him rides to and from work and if he needs to go do things. So we are awaiting his plan on that.
Okay, and does he reside alone or are there other people in his household?
He resides alone. From what he had reported was that he resides alone in an apartment.
All right. So let's talk about that home study a little bit. Has the home study been completed?
From my understanding, the only thing we were awaiting on Tennessee had asked the state of Texas for anything related to criminal history, which had been submitted. The state of Tennessee was completing their checks and anything on their end. That's what we were waiting on.
Okay. Now, I understand the court ordered this home study, ICPC home study for all three children. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. The study was only done on Dallas, as he is the biological child of Mr. Campbell, and this was done due to the state the state specifications and recommendations to be done just simply on Dallas.
Okay, and so in speaking with your supervisor, is it correct that the strategy is in order to avoid the home study to be denied completely because it would include all 3 children to only do it on Dallas initially?
That is correct.
And if it passes on Dallas, then to do an additional request on Bonnie and Clyde. Is that correct?
Yes,
And was it the department's fear that if all 3 children were submitted, that home study would be denied on all of them?
that is correct.
Okay. Do we have like a date when we anticipate this home study to be completed by Tennessee and received back?
It should be here back soon, honestly, within days. When it was initially submitted, there was a delay as there was some mix up on some paperwork that was required from Mr. Campbell's legal representation. That was clarified and sent in. So I know it did delay things a little bit, but we're literally like from day to day just awaiting those results.
Okay. Once that home study is back from Tennessee, and if it's approved, are we asking the court to hold a hearing before moving any of the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in regards to visitation, how is Mr. Campbell's, or rather, who is Mr. Campbell getting visitation with?
Mr. Campbell has been getting visitation with his son Dallas. They do virtual visits once a week.
How are those visits going?
Those visits have gone well. Dallas loves to talk with his dad and is very inquisitive. Dallas talks about his day, and Mr. Campbell has reciprocated that information with him, and they talk and communicate well.
And as far as Susan Campbell, she is currently incarcerated. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So she's not having a visitation. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Is St. Francis keeping her informed of the well-being of the children?
Yes, ma'am. There is a courtesy worker assigned to her that goes and visits with her and gives her updates and information of the children's well-being and any progress within the case.
Okay. Are there any additional services that need to be ordered for Mr. Lewis?
No, ma'am.
Are there any additional services that need to be ordered for Ms. Campbell?
No, ma'am.
Are we asking for any drug screens to be ordered today?
Yes, ma'am.
On who?
On Mr. Campbell.
And what type of drug screening are we asking for him?
Just a UA.
All right. And do you have a location near him to send him to?
There is a location that is very close to his home for his UA. If it were to be a hair follicle, then there's one that is a little bit further out. But since it's not a hair follicle, the one that's a UA should be close to his residence.
Are we asking the court to ask that this urinalysis be completed by today, 4 p.m. or tomorrow?
By tomorrow, by tomorrow would be fine, just to
Okay.
avoid any situations where Mr. Campbell may not be able to attend immediately.
Thank you. Can you please describe in detail the department's reasonable efforts to reunify the family?
We created a family plan of service for both of the parents, or actually all 3 of the parents. We also provided resources for these service plans to be completed. Visitation plans were also created for the parents to maintain their familial connection with the children.
And that we previously placed the children with the mother, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. The children had been reunified previously with Mrs. Campbell prior to her incarceration.
And now we have, or almost, let me restate that. Now we're in the process of doing a home study on Mr. Campbell, correct?
Correct.
How about Mr. Brandon Wright? How's he doing on his service plans?
Mr. Wright has been incarcerated throughout the life of the case. He had been incarcerated here in Texas and then had been moved to Louisiana. And then he was transferred back to Texas. During the time that he'd been in Texas, he did have a courtesy worker assigned to him to try and get him his family plan of service. Mr. Wright did not work on any of it. And then in December of 2025, Mr. Wright was moved back out to Louisiana.
Okay. And does Susan Campbell have a courtesy worker as well?
Yes, she does.
Does Louisiana provide courtesy workers for Texas CPS cases when our parents are there?
We had connection with one initially when the first time he was moved to Louisiana. However, he had signed off from what he reported to the courtesy worker. He had signed off on the charges that had been presented to him. So he was serving a different sentencing. And after that, we have not been able to have any contact with him.
Okay. And Mr. Heredia, for clarification, is he back in Louisiana based on Louisiana charges, or is that just extra jail space for Texas overflow?
It's extra jail space for Texas overflow.
Do we have any other requests for the court?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Would it be contrary to return the children to either parent today?
Yes, it would.
And would it pose a possible physical or safety endangerment?
Yes, ma'am.
I pass the witness.
Well, thank you. Mr. Heredia, the Texas is shipping some of our inmates to Louisiana because of overcrowding. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Apparently, there's some type of program that they have that they'll flow inmates in from Louisiana to Texas and from Texas into Louisiana, just in that particular area of the state, just because of how it's like literally like 45 minutes to the state line.
Wow.
And both facilities are very close by, and it's because of the way they're managed.
Okay. Totally irrelevant to this case. I'm just curious where my taxpayer dollars were going. So.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before we go on, Mr. Campbell, if you would please remove your hat. Thank you, sir. All right, Ms. Lucero, do you have questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Heredia, prior to Susan's incarceration, just to be clear, she had completed all her services, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and she had a place for the kids, and she had all 3 kids with her. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I know that there's a courtesy worker, but have you yourself had any type of contact with her since she has been incarcerated?
I have not directly, no, ma'am.
Okay, so have you received any messages or emails or anything like that from her since she's been incarcerated?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so can you tell the court whether or not her plan is to, when she's released, hopefully in March, that she's hoping to just restart where she left off and have her kids placed back with her? Do you have any knowledge of that?
The information that I have is that Susan plans to return to the Amarillo area, take up with her job that she had been working at, and find another another place to live, and continue on and follow whatever directives the department has so that she could have her children placed with her again.
Okay. All right. That's all I have, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness.
Thank you. So, Juan, Ms. Campbell, she's serving time for some old case that she was on probation for, and I guess maybe violated probation or something.
Yes, Your Honor. It was a charge from approximately 10 years ago, and she had been checking in and doing what was required of her, and then it dropped off since she had not heard anything about those services. So when the case opened up, there wasn't anything showing as far as her having any active warrants or anything. And when the children were returned to her, again, she had already completed her services, was doing everything that was required of her, and she was just happened to be pulled over And it was because that old case had been, I guess, refiled, I believe, and it showed active and there was an active warrant.
All right. So it's not, if she wasn't trying to abscond or avoid law enforcement, it was a clerical problem, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Ms. Kincaid.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Campbell has completed all of his services, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And he's employed, is that correct?
Yes.
And he's provided you a copy of his pay stubs?
Yes.
Okay. And he's allowed, obviously, the home study to be completed there in Tennessee, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are there any other documents or anything else that you're needing from Mr. Campbell that would impede a placement for Dallas?
The only thing would be if he could provide what his plan is for care for Dallas when Mr. Campbell is at work. Again, if he's having to work past, school hours when the children, when Dallas is out, or on the weekends, we'd like to know what his plan is for caring, how Dallas is going to be cared for, who will be caring for him, along with how he's going to provide as far as his transportation to get him to and from, and what the plan is for that.
Okay. And so far as Mom, she'll be released in March, but would it be fair to say that it'll take her some time to get on her feet after she's released?
Possibly, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And should this home study for Dallas be approved, is the department going to move forward with a home study for the other two children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass it. Oh, the last thing, has Mr. Campbell been in compliance with the service plan?
Yes, he has.
Okay. And have you ever had any issues with him not attending hair follicles or UAs in the past?
No, the only time that there was delays was just finding a provider when he first moved to Tennessee.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Michelson.
Thank you. One, with respect to the timeline for Brandon Wright. Initially, at the onset of this case, he was in Livingston, Texas, in custody, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then he was transferred to Bossier, Louisiana, to the DeQuincy unit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then he was returned back to Texas from Livingston, Texas, from Bossier.
That's correct.
Okay, and during that period of time, he had a courtesy worker.
Yes, sir.
And did Brandon indicate a willingness to work services?
No, he did not. By his own admission, Brandon had reported to the LPS worker that he had never really been a part of the children's lives, and just that he did not see any reason to try and work any services, especially considering that he was at the time waiting for whatever things he had been charged with, that he was going to be incarcerated for a longer period of time.
Okay. And did he ever have any contact with Bonnie?
No, sir.
Does Bonnie know who her father is?
No, sir.
Okay. So at the present time, well, that would explain why Bossier hasn't responded to my request, because he wasn't there. So he's back in Bossier now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you had any contact with him at Bossier?
No, sir.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
One, has Mr. Wright indicated whether or not he wants to relinquish?
No, sir, he has not.
Okay. All right. Ms. Wiggins, questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Nothing further, Your Honor. We ask for findings that the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify the families.
All right. I will make those findings. All right. Ms. Lucero, any witnesses?
Your Honor, I don't have any witnesses. I have had ongoing contact with Susan Campbell, and she just wanted me to let the court know that she has made parole. She should be out soon, and she has her job waiting for her. and she's hoping to reunify with all three of her children, and she doesn't want them split up. And I would ask that before, if the ICPC home study is approved, that we have another hearing regarding Dallas being moved.
All right. All right, Mr. Michelson, any witnesses?
No witnesses, we rest.
Thank you. Ms. Kincaid?
Briefly, I'd like to call Mr. Campbell.
All right. Mr. Campbell, if you'd unmute, please. If you're on a phone, hit *6. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Briefly, just state your name.
Louis Drake Campbell, Jr.
And you go by Drake, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're the father of Dallas.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you've heard the testimony from Mr. Heredia today, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, during the home study, some of the concerns that the department or St. Francis has is that a care plan for the kiddos. Was that something that was discussed during the home study in Tennessee?
Yes, ma'am, it was. It was something that was, they checked on it. They've been in contact with my family. I have a very large family support system here. And it's things that they have checked on. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So just to give the court some assurance, what would be the care plan for Dallas whenever you're at work?
I have contacted Sweetwater Primary School and Sweetwater Elementary School, which one of them is second grade, and this would be following on to next year. But I've made contact with them. I've also contacted the Boys and Girls Club, which is after school program and a summer program. They operate Monday through Friday. I currently have 2 jobs, but I've already put in my 2 weeks notice for my weekend job. So I'm out of there after this weekend. And aftercare, he would be in the care of the Boys and Girls Club, and they provide transport from the school to there at 3:30 when school lets out. And
Okay. And so far as, sorry, go ahead.
outside of that, I have my grandfather. He lives less than 3 miles from me. My stepmother lives about 4.5, 5 miles from me, and both of them, and my Aunt April, she lives a little farther away, about 10 or 15 minutes. But all 3 of them have all. I've talked to all of them in confidence and openly in a group about being able to help me with transport for Dallas, for medical, to school, after school, and any case that I need transport or care for him.
Okay. And did you provide those names during the home study?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And so far as transportation, what's y'all's transportation plan?
My grandfather takes me to work every day. He picks me up in the morning at between 6 and 6:30, and he picks me up from work at 5:30. I get off work like clockwork. He, like I said, he lives very, very close to me.
Okay, and
other
so
than that, he's my main mode. I can call him anytime.
okay. And so far as, I guess you've already discussed, if there were any kind of medical appointments or anything like that, you have family support that would help you in transportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And, Dallas has got some special needs so far as his speech and development. Is that something that you would, be willing to attend appointments and make sure that he continues to receive care if he were to be placed with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And your ultimate wish, should there be a delay for Susan for any reason, whether it's parole or, just taking time to get on her feet, you would like for all 3 kids to be considered to be placed with you. Is that correct?
That's more of a question I'd like to answer in with my wife rather than just by myself. But yes, I would.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass witness.
All right. Mr. Campbell, I'm not trying to pry into your personal business, but is your not driving, is it due to medical reasons, or you just don't have a car, or you don't have a license currently, or?
I'm not able to get my license here, and I've got some pretty bad depth perception stuff going on. I've tried a couple of times just in the driveway to see what it'd be like, and
Okay.
it's pretty difficult.
Okay. I didn't mean to pry. I just wanted to know if that was the reason. Thank you, sir. All right. Does anybody else have questions for Mr. Campbell? We'll start with you, Ms. Gutierrez.
I do very briefly. Mr. Campbell, it sounds like you go pretty early in the morning. You said 6:30 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm muted.
Yes, ma'am.
What time does school start for Dallas there?
School starts here at 7:50 a.m.
So what is your plan for caretaking for Dallas from the time you leave for work and when he would be picked up for school?
Well, he would probably leave with me and my grandfather to take me to work and be in my grandfather's care until he is dropped off at school.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. That was my only question. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Lucero, do you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor, just a couple. Mr. Campbell, you had stated when you were asked about the other two kids, Bonnie and Clyde, being placed with you possibly in the future. You said you'd like to discuss that with your wife, and I assume that is Susan Campbell. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And since this case has been pending, when was the last time you had any contact with Bonnie and Clyde?
Last Tuesday. I usually say hi to them on the video call with Dallas, and that's about it.
Okay, but as far as like any kind of a regular visitation, anything like that, that has not been ongoing throughout the case. Is that correct?
No, ma'am, it hasn't.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Michelson?
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Wiggins?
No questions.
All right. All right, then, Ms. Kincaid, did you have any other witnesses?
No, I just had one follow-up question for Mr.
All right.
Campbell.
Okay.
You're currently getting one call a week with Dallas on Tuesdays. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you be interested in getting an additional call if it could work with his schedule?
Yes, ma'am. To be quite honest, as high energy as he is, it's hard to keep him on the phone for more than 5 or 10 minutes and on topic. He kind of goes here to there. If it's possible, I'd like to do maybe 3 or 4 calls a week for 5 or 10 minutes would be more than enough. But to kind of keep him held down and attached to a phone for more than a few minutes is very difficult.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Anyone else questions? All right, then.
No, Your Honor.
All right, does anyone else have any further witnesses?
Your Honor, I have a quick question for Mr. Heredia.
Okay.
Mr. Heredia, you heard Mr. Campbell talk about wanting several shorter calls during the week. Can you tell us what St. Francis would be able to facilitate to help with that?
Well, we could, of course, adjust the visitation schedule that is set up currently to where instead of it being set for like 1 hour once a week, we could get with the provider and split it up to where they could be doing, say, 15-minute calls, if that would serve, better to where they can get a better connectivity. That's for starters, that's one of the things that we could do.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
One, is Mr. Campbell having visits only with Dallas, or does he also visit with Bonnie and Clyde?
The visits are only set up with Dallas, Your Honor. Bonnie and Clyde really do not partake within those calls.
Okay. All right. All right, then. Any further witnesses from anybody? All right, then, Ms. Wiggins, recommendations.
Thank you, Judge. Sorry, let me collect my thoughts. I do believe it's in the best interest that the department remain temporary managing conservator and the children's placement be continued. They're doing extremely, extremely well in this fictive kin placement, and I'm very happy that they're all together and thriving. And I do agree that if any of the children are anticipated to move, that we do have a hearing before the court. Additionally, I completely agree with Dallas being unable to sit down for any kind of extended period of time. So if we can work and it works for placement, then I'm all on board with separate times.
All right. Okay. All right, then. In both cases, I'll continue the department's temporary managing conservator, continue the current placements. In both cases, I'll order that none of the 3 children be moved from their current placements without a prior court hearing and court order. In Dallas's case, I'll order that Mr. Campbell UA drug screen by 4 p.m. tomorrow. And as far as visitation, I'm completely on board trying to keep the attention of a 7-year-old for an hour. I'm not going to micromanage it and say how to do it, but I agree, and I will approve shorter, more frequent visitation between Mr. Campbell and Dallas. As Ms. Wiggins said, so long as the department or St. Francis can provide the supervision, and so long as it doesn't overly interfere with the placement's plans. So, yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. All right. In both cases, I'll set a final hearing for April 6th, 2026. That will be by Zoom, so parties can ask their lawyers a day or two before April 6th, or anyone can go on the court's online docket a day or two before April 6th to see what time we'll have that hearing. That keeps you from having to sit in the waiting room not knowing what time we'll have that hearing. So, all right.